Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of gravity. We'll explore several key topics, including what is gravity? We'll start with a simple explanation of gravity and how it keeps us grounded on Earth, the role of mass in gravity. Discover how the mass of objects like Earth and Jupiter affects their gravitational pull. The moon's influence. Learn how the moon's gravity creates tides in our oceans and affects life on Earth. Orbits and gravitational balance. We'll discuss why planets don't fall into the sun and how their orbits are maintained. The sun's gravitational pull. Find out how the sun holds all the planets in orbit and the importance of its gravitational force. Kepler's laws of planetary motion. We'll touch on Kepler's laws and how they explain the relationship between a planet's distance from the sun and its orbital period. Unique planetary years. Finally, we'll look at why each planet has a different length of year based on its orbit. What is gravity? It's the force that pulls objects toward each other. It's what keeps our feet on the ground and makes sure we don't float off into space. For instance, when you jump, gravity pulls you back down. On Earth, this pull is about 9.8 meters per second squared, which gives us our weight. The role of mass. Earth is pretty massive, and that mass creates a strong gravitational pull. This is why everything on Earth, like trees, buildings, and even you, gets pulled toward the center. But Earth isn't the only one with gravity. Every planet and star has its own gravitational pull based on its mass. For example, Jupiter, which is much larger than Earth, has a much stronger gravitational pull. If you were on Jupiter, you'd feel a lot heavier. Here's a cool fact. The moon also has a gravitational pull that affects Earth. This pull is what causes tides in our oceans. So, the next time you're at the beach, remember that the moon is playing a role in those waves, orbits, and gravitational balance. Why don't planets fall into the sun? You might wonder why planets don't just fall into the sun. Well, they're actually in orbit because of a balance between gravity and their forward motion. Imagine swinging a ball on a string. The string keeps the ball from flying away while its motion keeps it moving forward in a circle. This is similar to how planets orbit the sun, how distance from sun affects orbiting of planet around the sun. Earth orbits the sun at an average distance of about 93 million miles and takes about 365 days to complete one orbit. The closer a planet is to the sun, the stronger the sun's gravitational pull on it. This pull affects how quickly the planet can orbit the sun. For example, Mercury, the closest planet, feels a strong gravitational pull from the sun and thus orbits quickly, completing a full orbit in just 88 Earth days. On the other hand, Neptune, which is far from the sun, experiences a weaker gravitational pull, meaning it moves more slowly in its orbit and takes a whopping 165 Earth years to make one full trip around the sun. How gravitational balance affects orbital speed. Gravity not only pulls the planets toward the sun but also balances with the planet's forward speed. This balance keeps planets in stable orbits. Planets closer to the sun have to move faster to counteract the sun's strong pull. If they moved slower, they would get pulled into the sun. Distant planets, however, don't need to move as fast because the sun's pull on them is weaker. They orbit at a slower speed, which increases the time it takes to complete one round around the sun. Planet's orbital period means how long it takes to go around the sun increases with the distance from the sun. Effect on timing. Why each planet's year is different. Because each planet orbits at its own speed and distance, the time it takes to complete one orbit varies widely. For instance, Earth takes 365 days to 1 year to orbit the sun. Mars, which is farther out, takes about 687 Earth days, almost 2 Earth years, to orbit once. Jupiter, even further out, takes about 12 Earth years. The sun's gravitational pull. The sun's role as the largest object in the solar system has an incredibly strong gravitational pull. This is what holds all the planets, including Earth, in orbit around it. Without the sun's gravity, the planets would drift off into space instead of orbiting in stable paths, each planet's own gravity. While the sun's gravity keeps Earth in its orbit, Earth also has its own gravitational field. This is why objects on Earth fall towards the ground and why the moon orbits around Earth. Each planet has its own gravitational pull, which affects nearby objects. For example, Jupiter's gravity is so strong that it can pull in asteroids and even deflect comets. The key concept of balance, Earth's forward speed and the sun's pull are balanced. Instead of going straight into the sun, Earth's speed makes it miss the sun and go around it in a circular or elliptical path. This balance keeps Earth in a continuous loop, or orbit, around the sun. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.